I did not kill Joffrey, but I wish that I had.
But I'm a man of my word. So, back to it. She is a vampire bat.
These are the top 25 most rewatched scenes in TV shows.
All right.
Okay. Now!
You belong here.
Kicking things off with a show that coincidentally took the 80s revival to mainstream level. Escaping a monster with the power of a song has never looked better, which is why Max surviving Vecna the first time was so rewatchable. Songs like The Weeknd's Blinding Lights may have been the peak of 80s reinvention, but Kate Bush's Running Up the Hill was on everyone's Spotify and Apple Music playlist during season 4. To me, this was probably the single most powerful scene in the entire show. Dual metaphor of clawing your way out of trauma. The I'm Still Here line is amazing.
I thought we lost you. I'm still here.
And you could say that not a single kind of any evil in this world could beat the power of 80s music. I was so happy for season 4 because I was quite disappointed with the way the show was going after season 1. Thank God the creators listened to the fans, and now we're looking forward to the final few chapters. In at number 24, we've got Netflix outdoing Marvel. It's the moment we knew we had a great hero in Daredevil. The hallway fight will always remain a peak fight sequence, and we were all locked in when we saw Matt Murdock going ham on all those dudes. They're struggling and flexing at the same time, which is why the realism hits you even harder than getting caught at a Coldplay concert. Daredevil isn't an invincible hero. He's got super hearing and stuff, which is to compensate for his lack of sight, but as far as strength and durability are concerned, a normal man can achieve the same thing with years of training and hard work. So it's grounded and relatable in a sense, which is probably why so many fans keep coming back to this scene. I personally loved it and always come back to watch the fight whenever I can to remind myself that Netflix actually used to give us banger after banger back in the day. Up next year is another viral moment that made an old song come back to life. The crazy dance from Wednesday benefited Lady Gaga's song Bloody Mary because of how much reach it got on TikTok. And yes, this also led to millions of viewers flocking to YouTube to rewatch the iconic dance that I believe Jenna Ortega choreographed herself. She made herself as Wednesday very believable, and it's so refreshing to see how she truly portrayed this character as a teen. Ortega had also said she didn't wish to rip off the original Wednesday, which was quite respectable too. With this dance, she did a great job and made Wednesday shine through the screen. The audience could feel uncomfortable with her actions, but at the same time couldn't help feeling drawn to her as well. The vibe just fits in so perfectly for a modern adaptation of the Addams Family's sassiest member. It's actually a shame that Ortega hasn't been in more iconic roles, like her most viral moment in recent memory is getting shouted at by The Weeknd.
Suavecito, que lindo es tu pu.
Alright, here's the stuff of legends. Mike is always the MVP regardless of whether we're talking about Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. To think that his character wasn't going to be involved in any decent capacity at first, yeah, is true. Doesn't it just seem so silly and out of place for any producer to have concluded the character so abruptly? Anyway, this is when Mike robs the Salamancas. It's a pretty badass heist, but I do feel sorry for the poor dude driving the truck. Imagine you're just vibing to some music and all of a sudden you're taken down by Mike freaking Ehrentraut. Now, it's a neat and quick moment as Mike doesn't waste any time with exaggerated operations. He knows what he's doing and gets the job done as quickly as possible without generating any fuss. You could say that he's like Wile E. Coyote from Looney Tunes, but the version who actually sees his plan succeed.
Surprise, motherfucker.
I ordered some furniture from Thailand. I was waiting for it to be delivered.
Coming in hot at number 21 is an iconic moment for internet culture. Yes, this is the origin of an epic meme, and what's even more impressive is that the same character has now gone viral again in the modern era from the exact same show. Heck, they even combined his suspicious meme with Pedro Pascal's anxiety meme. It takes a special kind of talent to do this, so Dokes is a legend for simply existing. Catching Dexter in the act must have been a dream come true for him, and he wasn't going to let this moment get away from him, which is probably why he didn't even hesitate to start throwing hands. All those suspicions finally seemed worth the effort, but sadly for Dokes, this was about as far as he could get when it came to exposing his arch nemesis. Having said that, the main moment of this scene is definitely the part when Dokes shouts, "Surprise, mother lover." Seriously, Dokes is like an inspiration for all the haters out there who just throw shade at their targets without any proof.
Hey, what the hell's going on over here? Miami Metro PD. Yeah, well, is this guy under arrest?
That's a good question.
Can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
Freedom and freedom. So let's keep it that way.
What makes America the greatest country in the world? Why is America
Not the greatest country in the world, Professor. That's my answer.
Up next is a scene that's so rewatchable that people don't even know which show it's from. For the longest time, this brutal reality check was believed to have been from some movie, but it actually comes from the show Newsroom. This is quite literally in the opening moments of the very first episode, and it's created such an impact that people couldn't get over it. Aaron Sorkin has built a career on sharp dialogue and weighty political themes, but this is easily one of his most unforgettable moments, even when compared to his bigger hits. Will McAvoy is supposed to be a respected news anchor with a centrist reputation, and when he finds himself on stage during a college forum, the moderator tosses out what seems like a harmless question. When asked why America's the greatest nation on earth, at first McAvoy hedges with a bland answer like his fellow panelists, but after being pressed by a student, his composure cracks. What follows is a blistering breakdown of statistics and blunt truths as he argues that the United States no longer deserves that title. It's a scene that continues to resonate because it challenges easy patriotism, reminding viewers of higher ideals, and showcases a powerful performance worth revisiting again and again.
We reached for the stars, acted like men. We aspired to intelligence. We didn't belittle it. It didn't make us feel inferior. First step in solving any problem is recognizing there is one. Enough?
So, do you recognize any of these men?
I was hiding in the bathroom stall, so I didn't see his face. He was singing along to the music at the bar.
Number one, could you please sing the opening to I Want It That Way?
Really? You are my fire.
Gear up for the next one because it's a musical masterpiece. The Backstreet Boys are back alright, and this time it's to solve a crime. Among the many clever openings this cop sitcom delivered in the 2010s, this particular sequence became instantly iconic. Detective Jake Peralta is just trying to help a woman who says she never saw the suspect's face, but somehow remembers hearing him sing along to a Backstreet Boys track. Rather than let that lead slip, Jake lines up the suspects and has each of them belt out I Want It That Way. The bizarre setup quickly turns into comedic gold as the group unexpectedly harmonizes, with Jake himself enthusiastically joining in the middle of the performance. Just when the moment feels like a goofy sing-along, the witness cuts through the fun by pointing to the last man in the row as the murderer. Yeah, the abrupt shift lands perfectly because it balances humor with the dark reality. Between all the chaos, this cold open stands out as one of the most rewatchable moments in modern TV comedy.
Number 5.
I never wanna hear you say. Woo!
Oh, chills. Literal chills.
It was number 5. Number 5 killed my brother.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Hey, do you want to meet someone? Someone very special to me? Right here is my son, Ryan.
In at number 18, we have evil Superman doing what he does best. And as is the case with most rewatchable scenes, we've got yet another meme legend. Yeah, Homelander sure racks up a body count like it's nothing, but this moment hits way harder than his usual kills. Up until this point, the dude hides behind his shiny all-American hero image, keeping most of his unhinged behavior under wraps. Then comes the rally scene, which changes everything. He shows up with Ryan, and the crowd's hyped to see them, making everything feel like a rare, wholesome moment, until someone throws a can that hits his head. Yeah, that was a big mistake. Homelander doesn't hesitate at all. As a matter of fact, he lasers the guy to death in front of everyone, but instead of horror, the crowd actually cheers him on. And that's when you see the switch flip. Homelander realizes that he can be himself and people will still worship him. His little smirk of pure joy at getting away with murder has since been memed to death, and honestly, it's one of the most chilling scenes in The Boys.
Yeah! Yeah!
All right.
Samantha LaRusso. You know what you did, and now you're gonna pay for it. I'm coming for you.
Up next is school violence, which really needs to be stopped. These kids are getting out of hand because who the heck goes rage mode in such a manner? Out of all the fights in Cobra Kai, nothing tops this. What starts as Tori calling out Sam over the intercom instantly blows up into an all-out war between Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do. Suddenly the hallways are packed with flying kicks, broken lockers, and rivalries reaching their breaking point. It's pure chaos as students from both sides start clashing, the fight splitting into different parts of the school and no one holding back. The choreography is insanely tight for a TV show, making it feel more like a movie-level set piece than just another episode. What really makes this moment legendary, though, is how personal every fight feels. Friends turning enemies, grudges exploding in real time. Even now, fans keep rewatching it, either to enjoy the wild action or debate who was really in the wrong. It's the definition of a rewatchable TV fight.
This is out of control! Give me security in the main corridor right away!
It's okay, sir. I got this.
The new day brings new hope. A new you.
To buy the world a home and furnish it with love. I like to teach the world to sing. Sing with me.
Now we have the love of advertising on our hands. The ending of Mad Men is one of those finales that people just can't stop going back to. After years of following Don Draper's messy, complicated life, the last episode takes a surprisingly calm turn. We see quick flashes of where the other main characters end up, wrapping up their arcs in a bittersweet but satisfying way. Then it cuts to Don in California, sitting at a coastal retreat trying to meditate with a group. For a second, it looks like he's finally reaching some kind of inner peace. But then he smiles, and the show immediately transitions to the iconic Coca-Cola Hilltop ad from the 1970s. It's this brilliant, cheeky twist, according to me. Don might not have fixed himself, but he definitely came up with one of the most famous ads of all time. It's clever, ironic, and such a typical Mad Men way to say goodbye.
It's kind of a little fun game to see which ones win.
Yeah, hello?
In at number 15, Barry gets a lot more than what he bargained for. The Ronny and Lily episode of Barry is packed with so many wild moments that it's tough to pick just one. But this particular moment does take the cake. Barry's supposed to take out Ronny with relative ease as he's the new guy in a cop's ex-wife's life, but things go sideways pretty fast. Turns out Ronny isn't just some random target, but actually a martial arts machine. Their fight drags on in a single exhausting take that's equal parts brutal and hilarious. Just when Barry thinks he's done, Ronny's daughter Lily shows up and goes completely chaotic, leaping around like some rabid animal. Later, the madness continues with another round at a grocery store because, I guess, why not? It's the perfect mix of over-the-top action and awkward comedy, making the whole episode one of the most rewatchable highlights of the series.
Ronny, you're hurt, man. Your windpipe's busted.
Please don't.
She wouldn't let him into her bed. So he promised to kill King Joffrey for her.
I wish to confess. I did not kill Joffrey, but I wish that I had. Wish I had enough poison for the whole pack of you. I would gladly give my life.
Up next is a speech for the ages. This had already placed Tyrion Lannister as one of the best TV characters of all time, but sadly, the writers did him so dirty later on that he couldn't hold that spot, well, at least in my mind. Having said that, this particular outburst is what made him a memorable name regardless of the final outcome. Peter Dinklage was acting like the rent was due and gave us one of the most iconic lines in TV history. I wish I was the monster you think I am.
I wish I was the monster you think I am.
Man, that gives me chills even today. They really should have ended Game of Thrones the right way because that would have made it a top 5 show of all time. Sadly, the series reached its peak somewhere around this season to the next one.
I will not give my life for Joffrey's murder. I demand a trial by combat. He said, "Suck my nuts."
Oh man, now we have the greatest crime in TV history. The Walking Dead really went downhill from here, which is surprisingly similar to how things turned out for Game of Thrones as well. Anyway, while Negan is an interesting villain, they should have kept his massacre to just Abraham, which is already bad enough, considering how big of a cliffhanger it was to all of us. But then to do something even worse to Glenn was just an act of blasphemy to the fans of the show. Yes, I know it's extremely emotional, and it got the strongest reaction out of the audience at the time, which is why it lands so high on the list. However, it didn't work out in the long run, thus making it the black swan of today's video.
She is a vampire bat.
Are you on the boat? Your boat.
A pretty popular show comes in next. Lost has had a lot of brilliant moments, and in this one, the group's got the boat wrong. In the closing stretch of the show's third season, Charlie Pace delivers one of its most unforgettable sacrifices. Having been a fading rock star, he chooses to confront the fate he'd been warned about. Despite Desmond's visions of his impending death, he dives into an underwater station designed to block communications, believing he can help his fellow survivors finally find rescue. But then, what he discovers totally shatters hope itself. Yeah, Penny isn't on the other end, but it's someone far more dangerous. As water floods in through a shattered window, Charlie accepts his end with quiet resolve. He locks himself inside to keep Desmond safe, and in his final act, scrawls a desperate message to warn the others about the truth. Lost has seen its fair share of emotional exits, but very few match the poignancy of Charlie's final stand. It remains a heartbreaking, endlessly rewatchable moment that defined the series' emotional weight.
Daddy-o! What's up? Some business came up I gotta handle. So we're gonna have to put our trip on hold. Who needs him? Hey, he wasn't there to teach me how to shoot my first basket, but I learned, didn't I? I had 14 great birthdays without him. He never even sent me a damn card. To hell with him!
Sketch of how we're going to do it, okay? Rach, that's you. Oh, that's me.
Wow, certainly think a lot of yourself.
Oh, pivot! Pivot!
We're in top 10 territory now, so let's have a look at the most successful sitcom for millennials, Friends. Man, I could have picked from a whole collection of scenes for this one, but I think the one that stuck the most was Pivot. Pivot. Ross has never had anything go smoothly for him. I mean, 3 divorces is bad enough. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that makes you feel really sorry for the guy. Over here, he brings his own problems by trying to fit a couch where it just isn't possible to do so. Yes, my friend, you can pivot all you want, but we'll keep coming back to laugh at this clip.
Okay, yeah, I think it's really stuck now.
I mean, you had a sketch.
Oh, you know what? What did you mean when you said pivot?
This guy makes the best soup in the city, Jerry. The best. You know what they call him? Soup Nazi.
Medium turkey chili. I didn't get any bread.
Just forget it. Let it go. You want bread?
Yes, please.
$3! What? No soup for you!
Up next is the moment soup became iconic. Seinfeld has no shortage of legendary moments, but the Soup Nazi episode stands at the top. The setup is simple, with a soup stand, but the owner enforces strict rules on how to order it. Jerry and George manage to get by, but when it's Elaine's turn, she completely ignores the system. She taps on the counter, cracks jokes, and even compares the guy to Al Pacino. Long story short, it's a total disaster. The soup Nazi's patience snaps, and he not only kicks her out, but bans her for an entire year. That's also when he drops the immortal line, "No soup for you."
You know something? No soup for you!
It had been said before, but this scene cemented it as one of TV's most unforgettable catchphrases. Even decades later, fans still quote it on repeat.
One large jambalaya, please.
Jambalaya.
Colombian connection. I need meth for the maquiladores.
Now we have a meme and an encounter. True Detective Season 1 is still the best piece of television that's not been bested by anything else since its release, in my opinion. In this episode, we have Matthew McConaughey giving us an iconic meme, but the real treasure is the tracking shot later on. It's a great action sequence, and I loved how everything played out eventually, especially with Detective Cole getting into his element despite having consumed some heavy stuff. Man, please give us a season that can at least be as half as good as this one. True Detective really fell off in its subsequent seasons.
This is for your own safety and the safety of your comrades.
After 90 seconds, I will ring a bell. When you hear it, return immediately. On my mark, ready, go.
At number 7, we learned that 90 seconds is a lot of time. HBO Chernobyl is filled with haunting imagery, but the rooftop cleanup in episode 4 stands out as the most rewatchable scene. With robots fading against the radiation, soldiers are forced to send men onto the roof to clear debris by hand. Then there's that one worker during his brief, terrifying run as he tosses pieces of graphite into the pit below. The camera never cuts, the Geiger counter ticks fast, and every stumble makes your heart drop. It's simple, raw, and unbearably tense. Even knowing the outcome, the scene stays gripping, making it one of the most unforgettable moments in the series.
Comrade soldier, you're done.
There she is.
Now I'll count to 3, 2.
Up next, you never mess with Jack Reacher's buddy. The prison beatdown is the moment that cemented him as an unstoppable force. Alan Ritchson's take on the character is brutal, confident, and darkly funny, and this scene shows all of it at once. After verbally cutting down a bully prisoner, Reacher wastes no time making it physical. A couple of devastating strikes later, the guy is on the floor humiliated in front of everyone. It's quick, efficient, and absolutely savage, proving Reacher doesn't need long to establish dominance. The look on Paul's face says it all, as he's full of shock mixed with admiration.
Who else a pair of glasses?
Line 'em up, your time is up, time is up.
Player 324 eliminated.
Dumbass.
Now we have the start of Korea's TV domination. Everyone wants a piece of K-drama now, with even Solo Leveling getting a live-action adaptation despite only 2 seasons of the anime being out. A lot of this was possible mainly thanks to Squid Game, which definitely needed the red light, green line scene to push it to global status. The unique nature of the game and its sudden descent into violence and gruesome destruction took the world by storm and remains the most rewatchable scene from all seasons combined. It just goes to show how original content can be such a success as long as you put in the work.
Please be true. I love you.
Cersei understands the consequences of her absence, and she is absent anyway. The trial can wait. We all need to leave.
In at number 4, Cersei gets her sweet revenge for that walk of shame. Her big move in the season 6 finale is endlessly rewatchable. While everyone expects her to show up for trial at the Sept of Baelor, Sis has already planned something far more devastating. Beneath the building lies hidden wildfire, and with one spark, she wipes out all of her enemies in a single fiery explosion. The build-up is masterful, with the slow, haunting score paired with tense, deliberate cuts. It's shocking, ruthless, and beautifully executed. Almost a decade later, I still revisit this scene as Cersei's most iconic triumph. Alright, our main man comes back to save Star Wars, or so we thought. After the shocking treatment of Luke Skywalker in the movies, the executives finally realized they shouldn't mess with a legacy character, so they had Luke pull a Darth Vader and gave the fans what they so desperately needed to renew their interest in the franchise. This scene is a standard rescue act which takes heavily after what Vader did in Rogue One, but what's important is the impact it created. Fans keep rewatching this scene because they don't really have much else to enjoy in modern Star Wars.
I said open the doors.
Are you crazy?
Let me get this straight. I beat the piss out of your mule boy. And then you walk in here and you bring me more meth?
You got one part of that wrong. This is not meth.
Barely missing out on number 1 is a man who knows what he's talking about. Breaking Bad has endless iconic scenes, but Walter White's first showdown with Tuco in season 1 is legendary to say the least. After Tuco beats Jesse and steals their stash, Walt storms into his hideout with a bag of what looks like meth. Things look tough, but Walt flips the script, revealing it's actually fulminated mercury. By tossing a crystal to the ground and triggering a massive explosion, he leaves the room shaken. In that instant, the mild-mannered Walt fully steps into his Heisenberg persona. It's bold, terrifying, and completely thrilling to watch. Even after all these years, this scene remains one of the show's most rewatchable turning points, along with I Am the Danger.
You got balls. Another pound next week.
Money up front.
Best in the state, as far as I'm concerned.
Taking the top spot is a legendary end to a legacy show. Few finales spark as much conversations as The Sopranos. The last scene finds Tony in a diner with Carmela and AJ waiting for Meadow, who struggles to park outside. Every detail feels tense, and then mid-scene, the screen just cuts to black. There's no resolution, just silence. Fans have spent years arguing over what it means. Did Tony get killed, or was it simply Meadow walking through the door? The lack of clarity keeps making people rewatch, analyzing every frame. It's an ending that remains as talked about today as when it aired, and considering it's a Sopranos, I'd have it no other way. Hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to the TV Regent, and here's another video that I know you're going to enjoy.